What do you feel like your experience was working with us here?
My experience working with you guys was very positive, very lucrative. So for me, a lot of it was this kind of stuff right here. It's, our first meeting ever was on a Zoom face to face. So it gave me a chance to meet you. And that, for me, that was the selling point. It was getting to see you and know you. So it's the personal aspect of what you guys do. But then that also translated into dollars for me. So you guys don't just, you don't just sell with good personality. I mean, you can have a great personality and you can be the best guy ever, but if you don't know what you're doing, then obviously that's not going to translate to dollars. So for you guys, the biggest win for me was you're personable, you were very relatable, and you sold that you knew what you were doing, and then you backed it up by getting business for me. So
Good, man. That's awesome. Now I know you might not know these numbers off the top of your head, but like, do you have a ballpark? Maybe how many jobs we hope to close, or anything along those lines?
actually, I'm looking right at the numbers. I pulled them up
Oh,
in
cool.
anticipation of
Good.
this call. Uh, so we started in February of 2021 of this year.
Hmm.
And so before then, my numbers were I had a month of 2,600, 4,000, 1,500, 1,900. And then in February, right when we started, it jumped a little to 3,100. Since then, I've not had less than a $6,000 month. I had five of them in a row. And then this last month, where we tweaked a few things, I shot up to $11,000 month.
All
So,
right.
and I would associate from February on, I would associate probably 60 to 65%, again, from the numbers,
Yep.
60 to 65% of that is due to your guys' ads and your work.
And the
So,
other part is too, we weren't spending a ton of money either. I mean, if I remember correctly, we were only running like a $10 a day program for you.
right, I'm a new
Yeah.
business, so we were at the beginner program at the
Yeah.
base level. So even just running that translated. Now, given, you'd have a week or two where you wouldn't have a lot of interaction from Facebook ads.
Yeah. That's
Would
normal. Yep.
It is. And I was saying, it would balance out, because then I would go 2 weeks and I would have several a day. And so it really, for me, the investment was worth it. I think my input each month was probably right around $700 a month.
Yep. Yep.
And I mean, I made that back in sometimes one job, but usually within two jobs, that's paid for. And then everything else is just money in my pocket. So,
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. I mean, glad the experience went that way. And that's exactly what we're looking for, to happen. Maybe next year you'll upgrade to something, get a little more power going there, get some people behind you.
yeah, I think we're going to be a little more aggressive with it next year. So,
Yep, get some now. Now as far as working with the staff here, obviously you and I have talked. I mean, I'm sure you've talked to Brianna. And I mean, whether you know it or not, but like in the past month, I've hired two more people. Again, their whole reason is we have some more people for the front lines, and we're just going to get a whole lot more responsive. But what has your experience been working with the team here?
again, it's been positive. I don't have a lot. One of the things I love about your company is that it doesn't require my time.
Yep,
So
that's the whole
I,
point.
I
Yep.
know at the very beginning, we spend a little bit of time just kind of narrowing down, what are my goals? What do I want to see? What am I willing? What are some numbers I want to see, and what am I willing to give and do? So we talk about that up front, and then you guys just run with it. And, I remember my first 2 weeks, I didn't get a lot of response. And I remember reaching out to you a little panicky because I'm like, hey, man, I don't see anything. And you were like, just let it ride. Within those next 2 weeks, man, that's when everything just started going. And so, like, the entire wash season from basically the end of February through August, man, everything just went. Again, there were weeks where it didn't hit a lot, but then I would get an update from you, would text me, or somebody, one of your people would text me with a little video update and say, hey, here's what's happening. We're making a little bit of tweak. We're doing this. We see some engagement on this end. So we're gonna, kind of maybe put our focus that way a little bit. And so they would send me a video update and I'd be like,
Yep.
cool,
And
awesome.
that's awesome. That's actually planned out perfectly, because we do watch that every day, and we do have those checkpoints. like on your program, it's somewhere between 70 and 150 bucks is where we're watching for the action. Again, because at the level you're spending, we have to wait those periods of time to make sure there's enough data to make intelligent decisions. And like I said, 2 weeks go by and we're not seeing leads, or we're just not seeing enough action where we would be happy with the result. That's when we start making changes and let you guys know, hey, here's what we're doing.
Yeah. And it's great because, again, I learned really quickly that that's the way you guys do it. So I never had to worry about it. I knew that if it wasn't going well, I would get an update. You guys would make the change. And it's one of those things where it's so hands-free. That was the biggest win for me. It's somebody that's running their own business that I can spend time just getting the jobs, washing, doing the work I got to do. And I don't have to think about ads.
That's it,
the
man.
biggest win.
I tell people, I'm like, listen, if you want to take a couple of weeks to sit down and learn this and do it, I think you might be able to do it yourself. It just is. It's, do you want to spend the time to do it? Get your own experience. And it's gonna take you a lot longer to get the experience because, I don't know if I told you lately, but like right now we're working with we've set over 70 active pressure washes right now. So,
man, that's crazy. That's great.
It is. I don't even know. I ran the numbers for a presentation last month, and in the last year we spent almost $500,000 on pressure washing ads between.
That's crazy.
It is.
Well, I think that is, from my point of view, from my end, what that says is you know what you're doing. Because if you didn't know what you're doing, I would have bailed out months ago. If I felt like, man, he's not watching it, he's a lot of talking, he doesn't know, I would have bailed out a long time ago. But man, you guys, honestly, so in that span of what, March, April, May, June, July, August, about 5 months, 6 months, my revenue, now I'm a small business. For me, it started as a side gig. So I brought in that's right around about $40,000 to $45,000 just in those 5 months. And for a side gig, that's pretty good. But
that's incredible for a side gig.
Yeah, but again, 65% of that, I would say, is directly because of the ads you guys run. So I wouldn't have let it roll that long if you guys were costing me money.
Well, wait, when you're ready to kick the year off again, I don't know if you have anything in place, but we have all this stuff in a database, and I can send a text out to everybody in one click. Everybody who.
Man, that's great. Well, like I said, I think when we so we're kind of shutting it down a little bit for this season, just because I'm moving into something else for a little bit. But when we fire back up, it may be before the end of the year, it may be right after the beginning of the new year. I think we're going to jump right into the next level and just let you guys just triple what we're doing.
Be ready for it, man. Be ready, because I will tell you, it's when we double people's budgets, it's not always double the results. It's triple and quadruple. Now, I'll explain why real quick. Because a lot of people don't get this. Like, Facebook has like an algorithm for finding the people who match your ad. So the way it's worded, the stuff that's in there, and getting those spots is an auction. So it's not guaranteed spots. And being a publicly traded company, they're trying to make money. The people with the higher budgets, a lot of time, get those higher quality ones first. It's not saying they won't see your ad eventually. It's saying that the people with the higher budgets get more of those people that Facebook says are prime. So a lot of times when you crank the budget up, it's not just double, it's more. It doesn't happen all the time.
Sense.
More times than not, that's what happens.
No, and that's the principle of synergy. Like, I can do the work of me. If I go outside and I do manual work, I can do the work of one guy. But if it's me and my father-in-law, we usually crank out the work of about 3 guys, just because when you add somebody else, there's an energy that adds to not just the physical labor, but it adds to like the complete energy of what's happening. And so I'm a big fan of that whole principle.
Yep, no, I agree. All right, so to wrap this up, if someone was going to ask you what you thought of us and they were going to ask you to give a recommendation, what would you say?
And in fact, I've done this. I've had 2 guys reach out to me on Facebook that knew I was using you, and they said, "Hey, what about this guy?" And I said, "I think you're stupid if you don't use them. If you want to make money, this guy will help you make money." And now I was honest with them. I said, it may take a week or 2 or 4 for some of it. It may take a few weeks to get the momentum. I said, but if you hang in there, you will be pleasantly surprised at how much business they can give you. So I'm a huge fan. David, I'm a huge fan of Clean Marketing. I think I think you guys back up what you sell. So initially, and you remember our first conversation, I was like, man, I don't know.
I know, I remember.
$700 a month. I'm just like, it's a big,
But
but you
see,
talked me into it, and you sold it to me because of this type of conversation. And so I jumped in, and man, I am not sorry I did.
good. That's exactly what I hear. And that's how it is too. For like, I've had conversations today with people that are like, they're new, and I don't know what they were expecting. But even when I said you got to spend $10 a day on Facebook, they were like, "What? How much?" And I was like, "All right, you got to back up here. Think about what you get for $10. I mean,
Right.
you're lucky to get out of Burger King today with $10. It's not, what it used to be. And obviously, Facebook, they've grown into a giant where they're able to find the people, and literally there are, the last number I ran, and we just ran these for the presentation, there are 2.9 billion people on Facebook. So your target market is there, I can promise you.
Absolutely.
And if they're not there, they're on Instagram, which we also run ads there too. So
no, well, and I think for me that was huge as a new. I was a brand new business owner. I started my business last year at this time, and so when me and you talked, I was only 6 or 8 months old. And so when you think, okay, this much goes to your company, and then $10 a day, for me that was scary, because I'm like, man, I'm not bringing in that much.
it is. I get it.
Money is tight, so it was very scary. So I can definitely relate with those new folks that are like, oh, I don't know. But if I could encourage them to, man, go ahead and pull the trigger, cut back your cup of coffee every day, or whatever your splurge is every day, cut that back for a month and watch and see if it doesn't make you a chunk of money. So I'm a big fan. So I think everybody should jump on it. If they don't,
Me too.
it's their loss, man.
Hey, well, hey, I appreciate it, Allon. Appreciate the conversation, and you're a pretty cool dude. Really appreciate you doing this for us. I mean, I know, like I said, I do remember in the beginning where you're like, I was like, man, he's gonna tell us this is not working out. We just need a little more time, because like the part when that's going on, it's we are looking at it every couple of days, and we're seeing who's clicking, who's not. We're eliminating certain things and putting the money where it goes, and eventually, when that all gets through and we get it dialed in, that's when things did basically what you described there. Then it comes to salesmanship, which clearly you got that part handled.
You have to have it, man. If you can get the leads, I can sell most of the jobs. There's a few that get away from you, but I feel confident in that. So that's all. I just needed people to know I existed. So if they can come my way, then we'll do our best to get them sold. So cool. You guys definitely fulfilled your end of it. So
all right, man. Hey, again, appreciate it. Thanks so much, and man, we'll keep things rolling here for you.
Absolutely, can't wait to start things up here in the next whenever it is. But man, I can't wait. We're going to jump in it, and we're going to triple it and see where we go.
Absolutely, man. Cool.